Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah. I can't breathe, babe.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah.
Sarah, I can't breathe, he whispers, not out of calm, but because there's barely any air left to whisper with. His voice is thin, straining against the pressure, not composed but slowly drowning in silence. A soft cry, barely formed, muffled by thick nylon and fear.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe. Sarah.
Inside that suitcase, George Torres Jr. is folded into a shape no human body should hold. Knees wedged tight to his chest, his back bent against the hard curve of a zipper. There's no room to stretch, no space to turn, only rising panic and air that tastes thinner with every breath.
Sarah.
But the only thing that answers is stillness. Then, a click. Not the sound of mercy, not the zipper sliding open. A phone, recording as if the moment wasn't tragic enough she chose to document it. And then her voice cuts in. Flat, sharp, detached. Not angry, just cold.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
Stupid.
That wasn't sarcasm, it wasn't something she slurred in a haze. It was a line delivered with precision, a verdict passed in real time. Inside that zipped suitcase, on the floor of a Winter Park apartment, George wasn't hiding, he wasn't playing a game. He was dying, and she was watching. This is Grim Vault, where we don't just revisit stories, we reopen them. It was just after 11 a.m. on February 25, 2020, when Sarah Boone picked up her phone and dialed 911.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
4748 France Court.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
Fire risk. Just tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in a suitcase and we were playing, like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep, and I woke up, and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened.
Okay, is he hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase.
He was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Right, is he breathing?
No.
I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me, okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
purple.
Okay, listen to me. Lay him flat on his... Okay, ma'am, listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Okay,
He's stiff and purple.
Okay, man, that's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him, okay? Place the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in the center of the chest.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
If I look at him, you can tell.
Okay.
Please! Okay, he just gurgled.
Her voice trembled, just enough to sound sincere. She said it was a game gone wrong, hide and seek, a tragic accident. But when police arrived, the scene told a very different story. The apartment was still.
What's going on? Who is he to you? Boyfriend?
Yes, for like 3.5 years.
What happened?
He and I, we drank last night. We had he and I were putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You were putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay. Fine.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase, okay?
Who is this?
The suitcase sat exactly where it had been left, unmoved. And inside, George Torres Jr., 42 years old, curled in on himself, unresponsive, his body contorted in a way that spoke volumes, not just of confinement, but of suffering. And beneath that surface, something darker waited. No one expected what came next. Not marks, not bruises, but something more chilling. Footage. 2 videos found buried in Sarah's phone, time-stamped clear. and both recorded while George was still alive. The first video is angled down toward the suitcase. George is conscious, alert enough to know what's happening, and scared enough to stay calm.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
He speaks softly, trying not to waste oxygen. He says her name. He pleads. And he makes one heartbreaking truth painfully clear. He can't breathe. And what does Sarah do? Nothing. No unzip, no reaction, not even a pause. She keeps recording. And then she taunts him. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me. She lets out a quiet laugh, then walks away, camera still rolling.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me.
Sarah.
The second video is shorter. The suitcase has shifted. George's voice is weaker now, just a breath, a fading echo. Sarah doesn't speak. She lets the silence hang. And then she laughs, soft, detached, and stops recording.
Sarah.
She didn't call for help. She didn't unzip the suitcase. She went to bed. Hours passed, morning came. Sarah Boone slept. She later claimed she woke around 11 a.m. and noticed George wasn't in the apartment. Said she called his name, looked around, then remembered the suitcase. She unzipped it. Too late. George Torres Jr. spent the final hours of his life trapped in a confined space, his breath shallow, his voice fading, calling for someone who once said they loved him. And she walked away. This wasn't about alcohol. It wasn't about hide and seek. It was about control, resentment, and maybe a quiet kind of revenge. They had history, not just the kind you bury, but the kind that leaks through drywall. Their relationship swung on a pendulum, passionate, volatile, unfinished. Police had been there before. Both had called, both had blamed. It was a cycle of conflict, reconciliation, and silence. Outsiders said they were trying to fix things. But from the inside, it looked more like survival, not love. George was described as kind, sometimes withdrawn. Sarah was described as volatile, the kind of anger that simmers quietly before it cracks the room open. There were whispers, breakups, regrets, but nothing, not even the ugliest rumors, came close to what the footage revealed. Because what happened inside that suitcase wasn't an escalation. It was something colder. It was calculated. Because George didn't collapse in a violent confrontation. He didn't die screaming. He died in silence. He stayed calm, not because he wasn't terrified, but because he knew panic would only burn oxygen faster. Maybe he thought if he stayed quiet, she'd show mercy. Maybe he thought love would be enough. It wasn't. Hours later, Sarah Boone sat in an interrogation room. Gray walls, 2 chairs, 1 camera.
Come on. Okay, you want to play hide and seek? What he does is, okay, tag, you're it. Well, so it's like, okay, we know. Okay, take off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did.
And then you went upstairs, and then he didn't come up, and you came down. Have you guys ever played you said you played hide and seek like probably 3 times in your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
When you have played, have you ever zipped him up in a suitcase prior?
No.
Okay.
Sarah insisted it was an accident. Said they were both drinking. That George climbed into the suitcase himself. That she thought he could get out. Her story unraveled fast. First, it wasn't her fault. Then it was the alcohol. Then, somehow, it became a joke again.
Probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
No. Just because I went upstairs and... Just
You
because
told
you're
us-
drunk doesn't mean that
You
you...
told us times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mhm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and a video and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
Well,
I
we're
get
just
it.
trying to make sense of it. We're trying to
get it.
figure out
Right,
what
we're trying
you're
to
saying.
figure out this
You
video.
explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did. Like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was... My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to... He'll be up here any minute.
But
But
you
again-
willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase,
So why didn't you take him out?
because I went upstairs, and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think, he's asking to come out, he can't
I didn't do it
breathe.
intentionally.
What do you think is going to happen if you leave somebody in a confined space like that?
Well, I thought by not zipping it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the
And what was
suitcase,
your plan?
waiting for him to come upstairs.
And then when he did it?
I fell asleep.
You said you were up there 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, somebody not coming up.
Knowing that the last time you saw him was in the suitcase, 30 minutes later, you're like, maybe I should go check on him, maybe I shouldn't?
No.
Well, that didn't cross your mind, because it didn't happen.
That's like an assumption. Like, that's what you all are thinking, just...
We're asking.
It's the
You
whole...
tell us.
It's the drinking. That's what it is. It's the drinking. I thought it was, like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't, that, you all...
He's telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe. He's saying your name, and you're like, that's my name, don't wear it out.
Guys, that's how we are with each other. Like, nobody understands our relationship. The whole suitcase thing never happened before.
Would you leave someone else in a suitcase? Would you leave Lucas in a suitcase jokingly? Because it was a
No.
joking matter. You put him in there jokingly. Would you leave Lucas jokingly in there? And you love Lucas, right? And you love
I wouldn't do
George.
that to him, either. I wouldn't do that to him.
So, I just...
Well, it's not like, again, I don't think you all understand. Like,
I mean...
that was not my intention.
Well,
Y'all don't have any idea what
by
I've
your
done
acts,
for
though.
him.
But by your acts, and that's exactly right. You get to the point where you've done so much for somebody and they don't show
No.
you any appreciation.
He did.
Not by your words in the video. I don't get that.
He did.
Because you bring up the fact that when he's choking you, you can't breathe. That's how you felt when he cheated on you. You couldn't breathe. And you verbally, several times, told him
cheated on
just,
me.
fuck you.
Well, you said it in
said
the video,
it in
but
the
you won't let us play the rest of it 'cause you don't
And
want to...
you-
When I say
told him.
cheating, it's on his phone.
Okay. Cheating is cheating.
I
And if
think
you
so,
cheat-
too.
Exactly.
It's your definition of cheating, though, so, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the word cheat means.
And that's what you told him in the video. That I couldn't breathe when you cheated on me.
But the room wasn't laughing, and neither were the detectives. Sarah claimed she went to bed around midnight. But the first video, the one where George is still pleading to breathe, was timestamped 11:12 p.m. That means less than an hour passed between filming and sleep. And in that footage, his voice isn't gone yet. It's trembling, fading, still alive, still pleading. There's no hint of laughter from him. No safe word, no teasing tone, nothing mutual. Only raw, quiet desperation. When detectives confronted her with the video, Sarah's composure didn't shatter, but it slipped. She began spiraling, at first denying, then blaming the alcohol, then, again, calling it a joke, as if that word could undo what was filmed. But the camera doesn't lie.
I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And it's
Fuck you.
That's you, your voice.
Stupid.
There's one moment in that footage, brief, devastating, where George pleads again, his voice thin and trembling. "I can't breathe." And Sarah answers without flinching, "Yeah, that's how I feel when you cheat on me. You don't come back from that."
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
After the interview ended and Sarah was being led toward holding, she paused. Not to ask about George. Not about bail. Not even for a lawyer. She asked the officer, "Are the holding cells small? Because I get panic attacks in tight spaces."
So can I ask you, or whoever it is, those holding cells, the holding cells, am I going to be put in one of those?
I don't know.
Last time I had a panic attack.
Let that sit with you for a moment. She zipped a living man into a suitcase, recorded his final moments, and left him there. And yet, it was the idea of a tight cell that made her flinch. Sarah Boone was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Prosecutors argued her actions showed intent, or, at the very least, an alarming disregard for human life. Her defense pointed to intoxication, a game gone too far. She didn't mean it. She was careless, tired, drunk. Her trial finally began in October 2024 after years of delays. On October 25, 2024, a jury found her guilty. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole on December 2. Nearly 5 years after George Torres Jr. made his final plea and was ignored. But this story isn't just about guilt or innocence. It's about something deeper. Empathy. Sarah Boone didn't just fail to help. She chose to watch. She chose to record. She chose to laugh. And then she chose to walk away. And George, for all his flaws, for all the chaos in their relationship, spent his final hours believing someone he once loved would hear him, would care, would save him. Instead, he was met with silence. Imagine this. Someone you love, someone who knows your secrets, shares your home, your bed, curled inside a suitcase? Their breath shallow, their voice breaking. They whisper, "I can't breathe." And someone is standing right there, watching. No panic, no rescue, just a camera recording. To punish. And it raises a question no courtroom can fully answer. What kind of person picks up a phone instead of the zipper? Because justice, when it finally arrives, doesn't undo silence. It can't rewind time. It can't unzip the suitcase. It can't fill lungs that emptied in the dark. But it can speak for the silenced. It can hold the lens to the truth. It can answer cruelty with consequence. George Torres Jr. didn't just die from lack of air. He died from the absence of mercy. And Sarah Boone's fear of tight spaces? It won't save her now. This has been Grim Vault, where we don't just revisit cases, we reopen them.